it's ItsEvaEgo and welcome back to my channel. Now, as you can tell by the title, I will be reviewing some of the Fenty products, but first I need to add some disclaimers. First disclaimer, subscribe. I know. Just subscribe. Number two, I know that I am super late doing the Fenty review, but I feel like a lot of people just wanted to do the reviews or put up their videos just to get the reviews. So yeah, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to actually use the products and see how they worked for me. So that's why I decided not to put up the video so soon. Number three, I feel as though there are not enough influencers on YouTube to represent women who are just people in general who have dry skin when it comes to makeup. So I figured, why not go ahead and, since I am a dry skin girl, I figured why not go ahead and use the products, see what's going on with them, see what can work and what cannot work, and then give you guys my honest opinion about the Fenty line. Fourth disclaimer is I will not be using the Fenty foundation or concealer in this video, and I will tell you why a little later on. So yeah, now that the disclaimers are done, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so since my brows are already done, we're just gonna jump straight into foundation. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I will not be using the Fenty foundation or concealer in this video, but what I will do is after I apply my foundation, I will show you guys what happened when I did use the Fenty foundation and concealer so that you can see what my reaction was to that. Now, for my foundation, I will be using the Too Faced Born This Way. I do have two different shades. I already have Mocha, but I went out and got Maple. Maple is one, like literally a half shade or so, or maybe one shade deeper than Mocha, but I feel as though one is good for when I'm very, very light. Well, not very, very light because I'm already kind of light-ish. But one is for when I'm a little bit lighter, one is for when I'm a little bit darker, but as of right now, I'm kind of in between. So I feel as though mixing the two of these will basically give me the perfect, you know, overall color for my skin. So I'm going to go ahead and apply Mocha first, and then I will apply Maple just so that I can have full coverage. I'm gonna go ahead and spritz my foundation brush with the Max Prep and Prime Fix Plus. Now, the deal with the Too Faced foundations, Mocha has more of a yellow undertone, whereas Maple has more of a orange red undertone, and because I have both on my face, I figured it would be better for me to put one foundation on and then layer it for full coverage with the other. Okay, so now that my foundation is on, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what happened when I used the Fenty foundation. As far as the foundations are concerned, when it comes to dry skin, and like I mentioned earlier in the video, I do have eczema, so my skin is very, very dry. The foundation does not add moisture, but it doesn't take moisture away either. So whatever moisture level your skin is at, that's pretty much where you're going to be at with this foundation. It does dry down to a soft matte finish very, very, very quickly. For my concealer, I'm going to go ahead and use my Kat Von D Lock It Concealer. Yes, Lock It Concealer Cream in the shade Warm D31. Now I'm going to take my beauty blender and blend it all out. Okay, so now that my concealer is on, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what happened when I applied the Fenty concealer. Now I'm going to take one of the Matchstick Trios and I'm going to use the shade Caramel and apply that under the eye. The artist at Sephora, she swatched it on her skin and she was a darker complexion. Now the thing is, she told me that this was drying, so she wouldn't use it under the eye. But I'm gonna try it out anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that under the eyes. Yeah, this might be a little drying. Let's blend this out with the beauty blender first. Yeah, this is pretty drying, you guys. For my contour, I'm going in with the Contour Matchsticks Trio, and I'm going to go in with the shade Truffle, and it's pretty cool that they magnetize. I thought that was pretty neat, but I'm not exactly sure why, but I think that it's just a concealer that's a little drying. But I'm going to use the same brush that I used to apply my foundation, and I'm going to buff in the contour shade. This is not that dark. It looks a little darker off camera, but we'll see. Okay, as far as, I think that the contour stick is okay. I definitely do not need to set it with a translucent powder or anything like that, but yeah, I think that this one is okay. I don't know what it is about the concealer stick that just did not go over too well with my skin. I know that it was very drying, but I'm not exactly sure what's different between the contour stick versus the concealer stick. I'm not exactly sure what the differences are, but I was able to go ahead and contour. As you can see, it blended in very nicely, and I was able to contour my face as well as my, you know, around my nose area and things like that without it drawing out any moisture. So yeah, I don't know what it is about, I'm not sure what it is about the concealer stick. I'm wondering what would happen if I use the concealer stick on my lids, because you know I always like put an eyeshadow base on, and some people use foundation, some people use concealer, and then they set it with a powder or a nude color shadow. So seeing as how this is drying in itself, I'm wondering what would happen if I use this as an eyeshadow base. Let's see. I definitely don't have to set it. I can tell you that much, because it's drying in itself. Okay, so for this look, I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay Electric Palette, And I'm going to use the shade Savage, but I'm going to apply that in my crease. I'm not going to put it all over my lid. Sorry, Brittany. See how that works out for me, especially seeing as how I use the concealer stick to prime my lids instead of using an actual eyeshadow primer. So here we go. I've kind of swapped up the brushes and I've picked up a so now I'm taking a small rounded fluffy brush and I'm going into the shade Urban in the same electric palette, and I'm going to deepen my crease just a little bit. And now I'm going to take one of the Kilowatt Duos, and I think I'm going to go in with let's start out with Ginger Binge, which is the less bold shade of the two, and going to put that on the remaining part of my lid with a flat brush. I think I'm going to overlap Moscow Mule with this Ginger Binge because I hear that when you overlap them, they get a little bit more bold, so we'll see. It pops a little when you overlap. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's take the same round brush that we used for our lids, the top of our lids, and bring the shade Savage to the lower lid. I'm going to take Moscow Mule and bring it to the inner part. Now I'm going to go ahead and line my eyes. I might go ahead and do a wing. Woo. Okay, we just had like a total train wreck. I was trying to put a gold, yellow gold liner on my bottom waterline, and I don't know, I just had a reaction just now. My eyes got extremely red and just started burning, and I just couldn't get it to stop. So if I look a little blush, then you know. So we're gonna just move on ahead to blush, and I'm gonna use my Soho brush as usual, and I'm gonna use my e.l.f. blush palette. It has 4 really nice shades in here. I think I'm gonna go with this one because it has little gold specks in it, just like Moscow Mule does. And I'm just going to apply that to my cheeks. I really want to go ahead and use Trophy Wife because people rant and rave about Trophy Wife. And the thing is, I don't want to go overboard with it because I think that's what a lot of people have been doing, which was really going a little overboard. All right, here we go. I don't think a fan brush is the best. Yeah, a fan brush is not a very good option. I have a featherweight blending brush from Sephora. I'm going to attempt to use that. It's a little bit bigger, but it's very, very fluffy. This is definitely like a very dramatic highlighter that you can use if you're like going out. I would not wear this during like a work day or something like that, you know. I definitely would not do that, but it's very pretty. I'm tempted to pop a little bit in the inner corners of my eyes. Okay, so now that our lips are lined, we're gonna go ahead and apply the Fenty Beauty. It's called Fenty Glow Gloss Bomb. Yeah, Gloss Bomb. Mind you, I haven't worn gloss since high school, literally. I wonder what would happen if I put one of these highlighters over Trophy Wife. I'm gonna go into the same Mean Money Hustler Baby. Let's go into Hustler Baby and see. I think that made it stand out even more. Oh gosh. I think that made it stand out even more. Okay guys, so this is the finished product of using the Fenty Beauty, or some of the Fenty Beauty products that's in the collection. So far I did use the Kilowatt highlighters. I also used the Fenty Glow Gloss Boss lip gloss, and I also used the, what is this? The Trios, the Matchsticks Trio. Basically it's the concealer, contour, and highlight. I did also purchase the highlighting stick in Yacht Life, but I didn't use it in this look, but that's okay. I'll use it for something else. And you guys saw earlier in the video what happened when I used the concealer and the foundation. So here's the thing about the foundation. I do not think that the foundation is good for people with dry skin because it's mattifying, and if you have oily skin, it dries down so fast until, you know, it'll literally suck up all the oil and give you this flawless look. But if you have dry skin and you apply, no matter if you apply the primer or if you use your own primer and apply the foundation, it's still going to suck up any of the moisture that you had in your skin, and instead of giving you a flawless look, it's going to end up giving you a dry, patchy look. So I do not think that the foundation is dry skin friendly, but if you have oily skin, I mean, you're good to go. You can roll with it 100%. So what I did do, however, when I was at Sephora, because I was contemplating so much on whether or not I should take the Fenty foundation back, what I ended up doing was, I know you guys remember the Forsali serum. So I went ahead and got some of this serum, and It says that it may be used as a primer before makeup application. So this is what I did. I put some of this on my face, and then went ahead and had the Fenty foundation swatched to see if the Farsali was going to help with the moisturizing agent, I guess, you know, so that your skin wouldn't, my skin wouldn't look so patchy and dry. It helped a little, just a little, but I still had the breakdown of the foundation, and it wasn't enough for me to say, oh, all I have to do is just apply the Farsali to my skin and then I can use the Fenty foundation. It just still wasn't enough. It still didn't give me that flawless look. So of course I decided to go ahead and stick with my Too Faced Born This Way foundation, because that's what I've been using all this time. As far as the concealer goes, I think the concealer stick, when it comes to dry skin, is really good for eyeshadow base. For an eyeshadow base, I really think that is good for that, because normally what I do, I'll use my NYX. Let's see if I can find it here. Okay, so normally what I'll do is I'll use my NYX eyeshadow base, and you guys know this, I use it in every single video. And then I will put my RCMA powder over it just to set it, and then I'll go ahead and apply my shadow, starting off with my crease shade. But with the concealer stick with Fenty, I did not have to do the extra step of setting it, because this dries down to a matte finish anyways. So I think that this is good if you have dry skin. This is good for using it as an eyeshadow base. If you have oily skin, then yeah, by all means go ahead and use the Matchstick Trio, the concealer stick or whatever, for concealer. The foundation is the biggest thing. I really wish I could have kept the foundation, but it just wasn't gonna work. The contour stick was fine. I'm not exactly sure why it seems like the formula is different. When you blend it out, as you guys saw earlier in the video, it does give a semi-translucent look once it has been blended out. So it's not like you get the harsh contour unless you got a darker shade. So I think that that's pretty good. That did pretty good. I don't know why it seems like the formula is different between the concealer and the contour, but it is what it is. Now on to the lip gloss, the Fenty Beauty lip gloss. I like the lip gloss. I haven't worn lip gloss in quite some time. I will say it has a pinkish, peachy kind of tone to it. And it looks like it has some like iridescent specks or something like that in it, but I really like it. It's not sticky or anything like that. You know, like the more you talk and things like that, the more sticky it gets, and then it creates like this film. So I've noticed that it has not done that. So I do like the gloss a whole lot. These highlighters though, so the highlighters, let's talk about those. The highlighters are very versatile. You can definitely use them not only as highlighters, but you can also use them as eyeshadows. I did once before use Trophy Wife as an eyeshadow, and it worked out pretty well. So it is very, very glittery. I've noticed that with the duos, when you layer them, they really do complement each other and make them stand out, as you guys saw earlier in the video. I think that people go a little overboard with the Trophy Wife. They like really dig the brush into the highlighter, and when they put it on, they're like, oh snap, I used too much. Me personally, when I'm trying out a new product, I never just kind of dive in. I'm kind of like testing the waters to see, you know, what the pigmentation is like. Even when I get eyeshadow palettes, I always do that, so that I can kind of figure out or measure just how deep I need to go into the shadow with my brush. So yeah, I think that there isn't anything wrong with Trophy Wife. I think that it works for all shades. Yes, I do think that it works for all shades. I just think that the intensity of it scares a lot of people. You can't, I mean, this, I layered like 2 separate highlighters, you know, the Trophy Wife and Hustler Baby. I think I layered those, and they're not as intense as you would think. So I just think that when it comes to the highlighters, you really have to think of it in terms of highlighter building. So you apply a little and see exactly where that takes you, and then if that's enough, you stop. But people, I think, have just been diving into it and just not paying attention to how deep they're digging their brush into their highlighters, and then when it applies to their face, they get shocked because they're like, oh snap, I just have too much on my face. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, that is pretty much it. I hope that I was able to give you guys a decent review when it comes to people with dry skin. I did a lot of things when it came to testing out the Fenty Beauty. I did the moisturizing deal. I had the mask. I did the under eye masks. Like I did everything. I applied the Farsali. I mean, like I went the whole 9 yards trying to make the Fenty foundation work for dry skin. I did not get the primer because the primer is super mattifying. When I swatched it on my hand, it drew all of the hydration out of my hand, and I was like, nope, I'm not putting that on my face, because if it does that to my hand, it'll do that to my face. So yeah, I hope this review helped you guys out. I'm gonna have to like start rooting for the girls with the dry skin, because you know, everyone who seemed to try out the foundation and stuff were like, oh, I love it, it gives a flawless finish, and I don't even have to set anything because it dries down as, you know, as a soft matte, and this is that and the third. I absolutely love it. It gets rid of the shine. But then you have us dry skin girls that are like, yeah, it's not working because it's like it's sucking all the moisture out of my skin and it's drying down to like this dry patchy look. So I did try to do a bunch of things to make the Fenty foundation work. Like I said, the Farsali, it brought it close, but it just wasn't enough. So yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys got something from it. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up, hit the subscription button, comment below, let me know what you guys think. Tell me what you want me to test out next, and I will definitely do that. And until next time, you guys, ItsEvaEgo signing out.